Blackpool Pleasure Beach has been home to 10 wooden roller coasters throughout its long and colourful history, with 4 of those classic coasters still operating today. These coasters have shaped the very identity of the park ever since the first one opened in the 1800s. For generations, families have returned to relive the same feeling of excitement and wonder, passing down stories of these legendary British rides at a place known for making adults feel like children again. In this video, we're looking at the fascinating history of the operational wooden roller coasters at the Pleasure Beach. The Big Dipper opened in 1923 at a cost of £25,000. It was designed and built by renowned roller coaster engineer John A. Miller, with assistance from William H. Strickler. With over 100 years of operation behind it, Big Dipper is one of the oldest operational roller coasters in the world. Back in the 1920s, roller coasters were designed using pen and paper and visual checks on the construction site. It's difficult to imagine that anyone in 1923 expected the Big Dipper to remain operational over 100 years after it was built. Some of the other Big Dipper roller coasters built by Miller and his team closed after 5 years due to struggles in the amusement park industry in the United States. At the time of recording, less than 10 of Miller's roller coasters projects remain operational. Big Dipper was the first roller coaster outside of the United States to use Miller's under-friction system, better known as up-stop wheels, something that would revolutionize roller coaster designs forever. The invention of the under-friction system revolutionized roller coaster design, with the trains latched onto the track at the top, bottom, and sides of the rails. The design gave engineers the opportunity to design taller, faster and crazier roller coasters, opening a pathway to where roller coaster technology is today. In 1936, the Big Dipper was altered with the layout extended by another American roller coaster engineer, Charles Page. Originally, Big Dipper's layout had 2 large drops, followed by a high-level sharp left turn, where the track reached the original southern boundary of the park. The sharp left turn was followed by a third big dip and a smaller fourth dip, which led to a mid-level 180-degree left turn, and then a further 2 small dips leading to a rising banked right turn that brought the track back towards the station area. The original high-level turn and the original third and fourth dips were replaced by a third curved drop, an archway over the Pleasure Beach's south entrance, and an aeroplane bend at this new southern boundary. From here, the extended sections of the Big Dipper were linked up with the original return leg to the station, with an extra dip added. In total, Big Dipper was extended by 200 feet. As well as modifications to the ride, modern British architect Joseph Emberton designed a new station interior and altered the tower structure of the station too. It's noted that these changes were made for 2 reasons. The main reason was the purchase of more land, and secondly, the Big Dipper was considered as boring in comparison to newer attractions in the park. At the time of recording, rides such as the Big One, Icon, Steeplechase, and Skyforce occupy some of the space that was bought to extend the park. Big Dipper has had 2 fires. One in 1953, causing station damage, and another in 1975, causing structural damage. Both times, Pleasure Beach opted to rebuild rather than remove, and throughout many times in the park's history, they've made structural changes to the Big Dipper to allow for new roller coasters to be built through it, over it, and or around it. In the 1970s, Blackpool Pleasure Beach sought exemption from VAT for roller coaster tickets. They argued the case by claiming the Big Dipper was a device for transport for passengers, like public train or bus journey. They didn't win the case, but it was considered and even debated in court. The 1990s is considered to be a golden era for Pleasure Beach, and during that time, Pleasure Beach looked at many ways to boost profits, including adding extra capacity to one of the two Big Dipper trains. One train had 4 carriages and the other had 3, confusing guests in the queue line. Back then, Pleasure Beach operated with a pay-per-ride system, so boosting the capacity by an extra 8 people on every other train worked quite well for them. The quicker they got people on the rides, the quicker they were making money. Big Dipper was a manually operated roller coaster from 1923 to 2009. For all that time, no block zones with sensors or computers were in use. Instead, the ride operator was in complete control of the safety of the ride. An alarm would alert the operator when the train out on the track had reached a certain point. From there, they'd know it was safe to dispatch to the next train if on multi-train operations. Changes were made in 2009 following an incident. Block sensors were added to the Big Dipper's track, but even with the sensors in place, the ride operator is still responsible for the manual braking system. The block sensors are there to assist the operator, mainly for occasions when Big Dipper is running on 2-train service. If the train out on the track hasn't returned to the station by the time the next train has reached the halfway point of the lift hill will automatically come to a stop and not restart until the other train has safely returned to the station. Big Dipper was given Grade 2 listed status in April 2017. With this listed status in place, it prevents any unexpected changes to the ride and prevents removal. Since mid-2024, the Big Dipper's multi-train operations are no more, and it typically operates on a 1-train service now. Nickelodeon Streak, originally known as Roller Coaster, opened in 1933. It was the direct replacement for the old Velvet Coaster, which had operated from 1902 to 1932. Sections of the Velvet Coaster were kept and used as part of the roller coaster build. A local Wetherspoons pub is now named after the Velvet Coaster. Roller Coaster was designed and built by Charles Page and operated with no restraints, including no seat belts up until 2005. From 2006 onwards, it had seatbelt restraints retrofitted to the train, and this slowed down operations so much that it quickly brought its 2-train operations to an end. Midway through the 2008 season, it had a train change. Using old Big Dipper carriages, a 3-carriage train with lap bar restraints was put together for use on roller coaster. Once roller coaster branding was added to the carriage and test runs were complete, it was put into service, replacing the train with the seatbelts. At the time, many enthusiasts believed this improved the ride experience significantly. It was no longer a slow and mostly uneventful wooden roller coaster. It was a lot faster and with a lot more airtime. Roller coaster has been a manually operated roller coaster for all its lifespan. It only requires 2 staff members to operate, one for the manual operations and the other for lap bar checks. It's very uncommon for roller coasters to be manually operated in this day and age. Most have fully computerized systems. For most of the 2009 season, roller coaster was closed due to cost cuts across the Pleasure Beach. Other attractions were closed permanently, but when the Pleasure Beach was packed at peak times, they opened roller coaster for a limited amount of time each day to help spread the crowds out around the park. Due to an incident with the Big Dipper in summer of 2009, roller coaster was reinstated as an open attraction all day, every day in the later stages of the 2009 season and for the early weeks of the 2010 season. It was then taken out of service again for most of the 2010 season, only opening on busy days and/or if the big one was closed due to high winds. For most of 2009 and 2010, it was rumoured that roller coaster would be removed with everything else in Beaver Creek to make way for a new Nickelodeon Land themed area. These rumours were proven wrong in July 2010 when the Nickelodeon Land announcement was made. Concept art showed that roller coaster was staying, but to be rebranded to Nickelodeon Streak. The transformation from roller coaster to Nickelodeon Streak took place throughout the winter of 2010. With the ride structure being painted in bright orange, the train having new styling added to it, and the queue being rerouted, including the removal of a staircase that took guests directly to the queue entrance. Nickelodeon Streak returned to permanent daily operations at Pleasure Beach with the opening of Nickelodeon Land in May 2011. Another wooden roller coaster that was part of the Nickelodeon Land project was Blue Flyer. It was originally known as the Little Dipper, then the Zipper Dipper, and eventually rebranded to Blue Flyer from 2011 onwards. Blue Flyer opened in 1934. It was built by Charles Page and Harry Traver. This is the first step into thrill-seeking for children at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. If a child can walk, they can take a ride on this roller coaster with a parent. The Grand National opened in 1935 and was built by Charles Page. It is one of only 2 operational Mobius Loop roller coasters that was constructed before the Second World War. The other is Racer at Kennywood in Pennsylvania. A Mobius Loop roller coaster is where, instead of having 2 separate tracks, the 2 visible tracks are actually part of one continuous circuit. The Grand National has 2 trains that appear to be on 2 different tracks, racing side by side. You can pick which side you want to ride on when entering the ride's queue line and station. If you board the left side, you return to the station on the right side when the ride finishes. If you stay on for another cycle, you'll end up back on the left side again. So, riders alternate sides each time the track is completed. This creates the age-old roller coaster enthusiast debate: is it 1 roller coaster credit or 2? The Grand National was only the 5th Mobius roller coaster to open in the world. The first was John A. Miller's Derby Racer at Euclid Beach in Cleveland, Ohio in 1913. Back in 1935, Grand National cost riders 1 shilling to ride. It was an instant hit at the Pleasure Beach, with reports of over 2,000 riders per hour after it first opened. The racing element, the illusion of returning to the opposite side from where you started, and the intense airtime moments have captured the imagination of Pleasure Beach visitors year after year. The Grand National may be named after the famous horse racing event in Aintree, but the ride itself was inspired by another Mobius wooden coaster in Long Beach, California. That was called Cyclone and built by Harry Traver. Traver assisted Charles Page with the design and build of the Grand National at Pleasure Beach. Ironically, the name of this roller coaster would be better suited to a horse racing roller coaster built at the Pleasure Beach in the 70s. That's called Steeplechase. Many visitors at Pleasure Beach do get confused by the names of these roller coasters. British architect Joseph Emberton designed the original station for the Grand National, alongside working in other projects at the Pleasure Beach to bring a consistent appearance across the park. In 1990, the decision was taken to address previous alterations and fix the station by completely rebuilding it based on the original drawings. Local architect Gordon McKeith was brought in for work in the 1990s. His family firm was established in Blackpool since the 1920s and oversaw a lot of the town's architectural work prior to working on the Grand National Station rebuild. In 2004, a fire broke out and destroyed the Grand National Station. 2 of the 4 trains were damaged beyond repair, and nearby attractions, Trauma Towers and Alice in Wonderland, were damaged by the fire too. It was reported at the time that water from nearby attractions, such as Valhalla and River Caves, was used to assist in putting out the flames. In the BBC's news report, a spokesperson from the Pleasure Beach announced that the Grand National would be repaired and reopened. Amazingly, the Grand National reopened in October 2004 for the final few weeks of the season. For the 2005 season, it opened on 2-train service only. Midway through the 2005 season, news broke that Pleasure Beach had purchased 4 new trains from an American company, Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters, PTC for short. Pleasure Beach and PTC working relationship is a long-standing one. In 2006, the 2 trains that avoided fire damage were scrapped in favour of the 4 new trains. As well as the new trains, the Grand National got a new computerised braking system and control panel added to it, taking away all manual operations from the ride. The Grand National was given a Grade 2 listed status in April 2017 and added to the National Heritage List for England. With this listed status in place, it prevents any unexpected changes to the ride and prevents removal. If you enjoyed hearing about Blackpool's classic wooden coasters, be sure to give the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel too. We'd love to hear your own memories of the wooden coasters at Pleasure Beach, so please do share them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.